So I just received a notice that I'm no longer allowed to do off-grid videos. I find it quite shocking. I figured if I wasn't allowed to do video or something, they'd just take down the video. I mean, they do it a lot of other accounts, channels, or they take down my channel. Or this is the one that's so strange to me. If you don't want to watch off-grid channels, or any channel for that matter, go watch something you do want to watch. But apparently what happens is they send in a notice that they want me to do something different, and these notices are calculating, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I think what I'll do in this video is I'm going to go through some of the things they said that my viewers want to see instead of off-grid. My channel has always been about minimalistic lifestyle. We started out as nomads, and I was showing you how to live in a pop-up camper. We bought an old pop-up camper and started traveling around the country. And it was all about minimalization, and we tried so hard to minimize our life. And we started on the East Coast because there was water over there. I just felt like it was easier on the East Coast. But by the time we became experienced and someone burned down our camper, we ended up building the truck camper. We decided to go to the West Coast over to Arizona, and it was much more difficult there. I mean, we actually started collecting rainwater there. It was really complicated trying to get enough water. And when you're up there in the North Rim Grand Canyon area, you were 100 miles away from anything. Then we decided to move here, and it's still been about minimalistic lifestyle. You know, we built the tiny house and bought that property very cheap, and solar panels, and it's all been about money savings and minimalistic. And then we got the chickens and started eating eggs and carnivore diet. But the one thing I've always noticed about my channel is there are some videos that do really well and some videos that do very poorly. Now, when you write all these videos down and you start analyzing what makes one video do well and what makes another video do poorly, there really isn't much that separates the two videos. However, I'm pretty good at being able to figure out just by my gut instinct. I don't know what it is, can't explain it to you, can't explain it to Carolyn. And trust me, she's always asking, well, how do you know that one? I just can tell, I don't know what it is. And what makes a video do well is watch time, click-through rate and watch time. So if they send it out to 100 people, I think the expectation is they want 20 people to watch it. That's called click-through rate. How many people click on your videos? And then when they get into the video, they want you to watch the video as much as possible. And so I try to keep a good eye on that. And I think a good watch time, not time, but view duration is actually what it is 60 or 70% of the video needs to be watched. Now, a lot of people watch the video in fast forward speed, and I think that actually hurts the channel as well, or hurts the video. So you got to take all that into consideration. Now, I would imagine that if you're a channel about how to make cake, it would be pretty easy to figure out what videos do well and what videos don't do well. If your channel's about making cakes and you decide to make donuts today, that video may not do well. But when you're living off grid and you're talking about wood stoves and you're talking about solar panels, and you're like, well, which video is going to do well? I mean, it's both part of off-grid. If you're living off-grid, you may want to do both of these things, but that's not true. The wood stove videos always do better than the solar panels. Why is that? Well, I don't really have an explanation. The only thing I can imagine is the larger portion of my channel would like to have a wood stove. Even if they don't live off grid, they'd like to have a wood stove in their suburban home. So my gut tells me, even though I might have some logic to that scenario, that I should do wood stove videos and not solar panel videos. However, I feel it's necessary that if I'm going to talk about off-grid, I got to talk about solar panels. Another one that just baffles me, and I don't know if it really baffles me, I think I do understand it actually pretty well, I guess it doesn't baffle me at all, is my canning videos. I enjoy canning food. I know it's a girly wussy thing. I mean, I've been called wussy all the time. You're just a wussy. And I suppose that comment right there tells me why people don't like my canning videos. My audience is primarily men, and I know when I say that I'm a female, I know I have females also, but when you have 20% female and 80% males, you kind of got to focus on the 80% according to YouTube. That's the bulk of your audience. I do a canning video and it just bombs. Well, I've been saying this for months that I don't do canning videos anymore. If you want to go watch my canning videos, go over to my playlist, go to my channel, go to my playlist, look for canning, and all my canning videos are there. People continue to tell me, I will watch your canning videos. Okay, so I kind of tested the waters the other day. I had an old video laying around. It wasn't about canning. I didn't actually show you how to can. The canner was chipping away in the background. But it was more about the explanation as to why I can foods. And just like my gut told me, it bombed, even though everybody told me in the comment section that they would watch it. I'm sure the folks who said they would watch it did watch it. But the other thing you got to think about is YouTube knows what you want to watch. If YouTube, the algorithm, thinks that you don't like canning videos because you've never watched a canning video in the past, even though you watch my channel every day, they won't give you the canning video. They won't send it to you. But not only do you got to think about what the viewer is going to want to watch, you got to think about what the algorithm thinks the viewer is going to watch. So I got to actually think like a computer. And I actually have better luck thinking for the computer. I understand the computer a lot better than I understand my audience. But that doesn't stop people from telling me that I've got to do something different on my channel. And it's always just baffled my mind. I just never have understood it. When we were nomads, I was told this all the time that, well, you need to get yourself a 40-footer camper. Why would I get myself a 40-footer camper? This channel is about living in a pop-up camper or building your own truck camper and traveling around the country on a truck camper. And I just don't understand it. If you want to watch someone traveling around on a 40-foot camper, I'm making up a number. I don't know if there's actually any campers that are 40 foot. I'm just using it as an example. There are channels out there that do it. I can think of several that travel around in nice campers. There are channels out there that travel with kids. There are channels out there that travel single. If you want to live in a van in the desert, there's channels out there that live in a van in the desert. Now the thing is when we transition from living the nomadic lifestyle to off-grid lifestyle, I knew I was going to take a massive hit in my viewership. And I did. And I tried to make the transition as smooth and clean as possible. However possible that is. I mean, it was just, I knew it was going to take a significant hit. And there are a lot of YouTube experts out there that said, just start a new channel. But I figured I didn't want to start a new channel because I do have a pretty solid audience at the time that will want to transition. So I figured, well, I'll just take the hit. Even if I lose half of my audience, it's better than trying to start over. But I get emails all the time. Well, you should do a video about Carolyn cooking. Well, I don't know how. I know a lot of people want to meet Carolyn. I mean, I really do know that. But if this channel all of a sudden started cooking, people will be like, no, I wanted to hear about firewood. That's what I came here for. And so you really got to think about it. And I just know, even though I'm going to get comments say, oh, I'd watch your cooking videos, I know for a fact, in my gut, that it would take a hit. I mean, think about the canning. Nobody watches the canning videos. What makes me think somebody's going to watch a cooking video? There are channels out there who can teach you how to cook. I'm not a cook. And so when you think about what they call the niche, the YouTube experts always talk about your niche. You really have to think about what your niche is. And I like to say my niche is off-grid. And the YouTube experts would actually say, no, that's too broad. You need to narrow your niche down even further. Narrow it down to firewood, or narrow it down to chickens, or narrow it down to solar panels. And then that's all you talk about. You don't talk about anything else. And every now and then, I'll have a little bit of success with a video that I didn't think would happen, like generators. Here recently, I've been talking about generators. I think, though, that the reason things are going so well recently is because Carolyn's son is here, and people are interested in how well that is going to work. Us hooking up our solar panels and our water to his camper, and him running a TV and all that. So I think it's more of a curiosity thing right now than it is they're interested in solar panels. Another suggestion they got was, I need to make a video that shows a comparison between this van life YouTuber He's a big van life YouTuber, and I've actually made a lot of videos about him back in the past, and off-grid living, and show how living off-grid is superior than what he is talking about. I thought, well, if you want to know that, just go back to my old videos and watch those. I mean, if you want to be a nomad, or if you want to live off-grid, it doesn't make sense for me to bring in a whole new audience, because I've been bringing a whole new audience for the last 3 years living here, and tell them, hey, look how great it is to live off-grid, and then say, but there is this other option out there. Go live in a van, and then go watch this other guy's videos. It would confuse the audience, and it would definitely confuse the algorithm. Well, what are you? Are you an off-gridder, or are you a van lifer? If you want to know what the comparisons are between living off-grid and living in a van, you should go watch off-grid channels and van life channels and make your own determination. But people really can't do that. They want to follow someone. They want someone to lead them down a road, someone they like. You know, let's just say they like my personality and the way I present YouTube videos. And so they want me to tell them what I think. And the one that really got me here recently, she said in the comment section, how do you get paid for YouTube prescriptions? I'm sure she meant subscriptions. She didn't speak very clearly or write very clearly. There was a lot of words that didn't make sense, and I had to decipher it all. And I thought, well, why is she even asking this question? What business is of hers? And then I thought, oh, maybe in the video I said that YouTube is my job. I get paid by YouTube. And so I re-watched the video, and sure enough, I did say it. So it is her business. Okay. So I replied, well, I don't get paid through subscriptions. Subscriptions are free. You can subscribe to my channel. I get paid through YouTube ads. And so there were several comments back and forth, her asking more questions about how you get paid, and my responses. And finally she said, well, how do I start a YouTube channel? And then I realized, oh, she's not asking if she wants to subscribe to my channel and be supportive to me. She wants to know how to start a YouTube channel. And I gave her the best advice I could possibly think of. You should Google how to start a YouTube channel, and it will take you to YouTube videos. I mean, you could put it in the YouTube search engine too. You don't have to use Google. But I figured, since it seemed like she might be speaking a foreign language and trying to use English or use a translator, I'd make it as simple as possible. And I really thought that was good advice, because my channel, like I said, I really struggle. I don't have the knowledge that says this video is going to do well and this video is going to do poorly. I have a gut instinct. That's all I can tell you. And if you're going to start a cooking channel, I wouldn't know where to start. I today watch, I don't know, 4 different channels with YouTube experts. Every time their video comes up, and there's some big ones, I mean big ones that I watch. And so I watch those videos to tell me how to make videos. And I've been doing it for 6 years. Well, then the next day she comes back and says, what kind of camera should I buy for my YouTube channel? And I'm definitely not going to give any advice on that, because I use a little GoPro, because I walk around and there's a lot of activities and it gets wet. But if you're wanting to do some artwork and you really want to show the fine details of something, this camera probably wouldn't be any good for you. So again, I said, you need to Google how to start a YouTube channel. And she said, young man, I'm 79 years old and I'm trying to ask you a question and you're being rude to me. I just wanted you to let me know what kind of camera you use. Which isn't true. She wanted to know a bunch of things about YouTube. Why don't you just make a video and teach us how to make a channel? My channel specifically said, Little House Off Grid. That should give you an indication this is not the channel you want to be on. And then she continued and said, I lived off grid when I was a child. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to learn how to make YouTube videos. I don't even understand this mentality. If you want to make a YouTube video, why are you on an off-grid channel? It literally makes no sense. So she says, you just need to start listening to what your audience wants. I am listening the best I know how. My gut instinct says videos that I do with firewood and wood stoves are the best, especially around the September. And the thing is, if I made a video about how to make YouTube videos, my channel would crash. The algorithm would go berserk. Where do I send this? They wouldn't send it out to anybody for the off-grid channel. They'd start sending it out to a bunch of people who want to make a YouTube channel. they'd send it out to about 5 people just to see if people would click on it. And since nobody knows who I am, they'd be like, I don't know this guy. He's only got 89,000 subscribers. Why would I click on it? And so my channel would crash overnight. But I don't know how I was being rude. That's the sad thing. I thought I was being very polite by saying, Google. The world has just went insane. They have expectations that you bend over backwards for them while they're paying nothing to you. This video is free. You're providing it to you for free. Of course, YouTube pays me, but not through you actually paying out money. I'm not going to change my channel. I'm going to continue to do the best I can on my gut on what videos do well and what videos don't. So if you can click this up next box, which would help my channel, it'll take you to a video where I was talking about code enforcement, saying my stepson can't live in that camper without electric. So if I can inspire you, stand your ground so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.